Right now we are standing here with a former NWA Canadian Heavyweight Champion and former NWA ECCW Tag Team Champion, Fast Freddy Funk. How are you doing? And thanks for taking the time to do this interview.
Well, Nick, overall I'm doing pretty good. I had a disappointing match this evening, losing to the Canadian NWA Canadian champ Scotty Mack. A little outside interference there kept me distracted and kept me from capturing my second heavyweight title.
Yeah, the natural interference from outside the ring. It must be really frustrating, Freddy, because coming here, you've held that title before. What was your mindset? You know, just to fill in the listeners, coming to the ring, you held that title before, and I'm sure you wanted that very prestigious title again.
Well, yeah, coming out there, I had my sights set on beating Scotty Mack, grabbing the gold there, holding up high for everybody to cheer me on. And, the outside interference, Ray Brooks, kept me right off my game there. There's 3 times there that he distracted me throughout the match. I was on top of it for most of it, but in the end, what can you say? The outside interference is what did me in.
For the critics out there, Freddy, I've seen you. I'm not one of them. I've seen you wrestle before. People would probably be a little bit skeptical you going against Scotty Mack because his style and your style, and maybe you wouldn't be able to keep up with him. But it seemed like at times he had to keep up with you.
Well, it's that unstoppable force meeting that immovable object. I tend to encompass both. Once I get going, you can't stop me. But if I'm stopped, there ain't nothing going to move me. So it doesn't really matter what your style is. If I've got you, you're in trouble. And if you can, outmaneuver me, then good for you. You're going to pepper me with your little shots. Some of them may eventually get through. But you got to hope to God, and you got to pray, that I don't get my hands on you. Because once I do, I'm going to lower the boom.
A lot of people have talked you're very agile for a big man, but the thing is, it's very interesting how you used Scotty Mack's. It's almost like you used his momentum, his pace against him. Like coming off the top rope. I don't know if I'm explaining this right for the listeners. I'll try, but like he's coming off the top rope and you scoop slammed him, bang on the mat. It's just like you used his
momentum against him.
Yeah, his own momentum against him.
Yeah, well, that's just it, right? I mean, I'm an immovable object. So he jumps off the top rope, and I caught him, and I just turned it right into a power slam. And when he used his momentum against him, put even more force into it. And unfortunately, when I went for the pin, he kicked out after 2. But that's one of the things early on in the match. You're trying to drive the wind out of him, do as much damage as you can right away, and try and sneak out a quick, fast victory. Unfortunately, Scotty Mack is an incredible competitor, and he was able to kick out at the last second there and continue on with the match.
How does it feel to be, it has been a while now, almost a year, 9 months, that you've come back to the people representing, being the wrestler for the people. Does it really pump you up coming to the ring and everybody's cheering your name?
It's the greatest feeling in the world when you get out there and you hear the fans cheering for Freddy Funk. You get all the girls and the little kids that get up, they want to dance with you and slap you, give you the high fives, go for hugs. You're shaking hands and kissing babies, and there's a lot of positive energy out there. You can't help but feel good. You can't help but feel great. It just fills you up with so much, and then you get in and you try and carry that energy over into your match.
I guess we'll go a little serious now.
Yep.
It's interesting. A lot of people assume you're bigger, you're slower. I mean, in general, people. But you've seen the wrestlers tonight. Like Kenny Lush is a pretty agile guy, and so are you. You think it has more to do with mindset? So if you kind of get into that mindset, I'm a big guy, I'm going to be slower, then you're going to be slower. But if you kind of don't think like because I'm big doesn't mean I'm going to be slower.
Well, size doesn't necessarily hinder anybody. Small guys can do all kinds of things. They just don't look as effective when a small guy does it versus when a big guy does it. And a big guy can be extremely agile especially like myself for that matter. There's all kinds of stuff that I can do that would amaze you. Just simply my athleticism for a guy who's nearly 400 pounds is mind-boggling to a lot of people. to see the flips, to see the bumps you can take, to see the way how fast you can move in the ring, and everything like that. You can't judge a book by its cover, and end of story right there. You can look at me and say, "Oh, there's a big guy and he doesn't move very fast." Well, you know what? I don't need to move very fast until I need to move very fast, and once I move very fast, that's the end of you.
Freddy, I hope you don't mind me delving too much into this. Like, what's the mindset like for psychology wise? You played a heel for a while, and almost close to a year now. Now you're playing babyface again. Coming to the ring, what's the difference when you're walking through the crowd? Your mindset coming to the ring as a heel versus a babyface.
Well, you see, when I was a heel, there was a lot of bad feelings out in the crowd, and that you feed off that just as much as when you're a good guy, you feed off the positive energy. So when the fans turned on me, I fed on that, and geez, I can't only say it any other way other than the fact that I hated each and every single one of them for when they turned on me that one night. And it took me over a year for them to finally show me the error of my ways, for me to finally see that the devil, Vern Siebert, was whispering in my ear and turned me to the dark side. And it took me a year to realize that the fans love me, that they're where it's at. They're the reason why I'm here. I'm here for them, to put on a show for them, to entertain them, and to make them get up on their feet and have a great night and cheer me on and boo for whoever I'm wrestling against. So the guy that they're booing that I'm wrestling against, he can hate the crowd. I want to love him, and I want them to love me.
And Freddy, it's really great to have you back with the people in this day and age. The kids, or the grown-ups, we don't want to admit it, but we need something to look up to, something to aspire to. The good. We want to see the good in people. We want to aspire to, like, we all have good and bad qualities in us, but strive for those values, those morals, the Ten Commandments, and et cetera, et cetera. Maybe I'll cut that, but Freddy, I hope you don't mind. I was wondering, I got some posters over there that I picked up. You wouldn't mind signing this? It's okay. It's for me, for one of my friends, and this was really great. I was really nervous coming. I'm gonna talk to Fast Freddy Funk, and I was able to get through the interview. Oh, actually, the mic's still on. Maybe I'll edit this. Okay. We were just talking to the former NWA ECCW Tag Team Champion and the former NWA Canadian Heavyweight Champion, Fast Freddy Funk, outside the Bridgeview Community Center, coming short and losing to Scotty Mack. Thanks so much for your time and taking the time to do this interview.
Oh, Nick, thanks for having me here. I'd like to get the word out there, what we're doing, and express what's going on.
Freddy, you wouldn't happen to have a website or a blog or something you'd like to plug? Or?
Well, you can always go to the ECCW website at ECCW.com. I don't have a personal website. You can hit Fast Freddy Funk at Facebook.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and you can go there and see photos and videos and post a message towards me if you want.
So there you have it, listeners. There are the links to get to Fast Freddy Funk's matches, which are on YouTube, and then pictures on Facebook. Again, thanks, Freddy. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Thanks a lot, Nick.